the woke's all-out attack on America. The LGBT plus agenda is being shoved down the throats of American consumers. This is Randy Osborne.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Worldview Truth. An all-out blitz has been pushed on the American consumers by companies doing business in the U.S. to promote their products through transgender actors. This blitz initiative, I believe, is to prevent conservative consumers from effectively boycotting all of these products. The trans social influencer Dylan Mulvaney, who is a man, has made millions acting like a woman. I wonder where the women's rights groups are right now about this. Among these products that Mulvaney has promoted are products such as Crest, Haas Labs, Instacart, Kate Spade, Kind Snacks, KitchenAid, Ulta Beauty, and also Nike, Anheuser-Busch, Maybelline Cosmetics. And I'm going to park here for just a moment. You have some dude that's marketing Maybelline Cosmetics that are actually cosmetics that have been for women for years. I'm looking for the outrage from women's organizations on this. This woke agenda is being promoted in our schools across the United States, including elementary, middle, and high schools, as well as colleges and universities. LGBT organizations are pushing their agendas into churches and every single public sector in our nation. And if you oppose this lifestyle as a Christian or a conservative or any other reason, you will be attacked viciously. So, an Indiana councilman, Ryan Webb, decided that he was going to change the direction of the LGBT plus movement. Ryan Webb, a Republican and conservative, decided to come out as a transgender, woman of color, lesbian. A few days ago, he was interviewed by Jesse Waters just as a result of some of the vicious attacks that they came after him for identifying in this manner. And this is what the interview was about. Let's listen.
For the left, gender is meaningless. Forget being a man or a woman. Now you can just be a wolf, a toaster oven, even a gender outlaw if that's what your heart desires. And no one can tell you differently. If you dare ask questions, you're labeled transphobic or racist. The left can't even define what a woman is anyway. So, if these are the new rules, Republicans are going to have a little fun with this. Meet Ryan Webb, a straight white councilman from Delaware County, Indiana, who just announced he identifies as a woman. And not just any woman. Ryan has searched his soul and found out he's a woman of color. And since he's still attracted to females, that means he's also a lesbian. So he shatters. And he took to Facebook saying the move, "It has come to my attention that I am more than likely the very first lesbian woman of color in the history of Delaware County to ever serve on the Delaware County Council. I am honored to be the one to shatter that glass ceiling." But the left didn't really like Ryan's coming out party.
If he were serious, I'd sing his praises. But instead, I know better.
I cannot believe that I had to take time out of my day today to attempt to teach a grown man how to behave appropriately.
I feel that he should resign, and if he doesn't, I would look at county council to talk to legal and see what they can do about removing him.
Here to respond is the lesbian woman of color and Delaware County Councilman Ryan Webb. So you say you're a woman of color. What kind of color are we talking about here?
Well, I am, Jesse. First, I want to thank you for having me on here tonight and giving me the opportunity to clear up any misunderstandings. I am identifying as a woman of color due to my extensive Native American history, Cherokee. As a matter of fact. And very proud of that. Very proud.
Are you more Native American than Liz Warren or less?
Well, I don't profess to know the history of Liz Warren, but I think it's pretty consistent that I have a Cherokee on both sides of my family. So I think it's enough to self-identify as a woman of color.
Yeah,
yes.
she only had one side Cherokee, so you probably are more Cherokee than she is. Have you found that now that you are identifying as a lesbian Indian, that your career trajectory is moving in the right direction?
Well, that remains to be seen, Jesse. Some people have really been upset. They've been big mad about it. And, we had a group of individuals show up at our local Delaware County Council meeting to express their fake outrage and let me know that they thought I should resign. And but recently, the support I've been getting from across the country has been overwhelming. So I haven't really heard much from my fellow Republicans in Delaware County, if anything. But from across the country and Europe, I've been getting a lot of good positive feedback requesting that I seek higher office than as the Delaware County Councilman. So we'll see.
Ryan, what actually makes you a lesbian?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, Jesse. I've been asked that before. The fact that I am a lesbian is that I am identifying as a woman of color.
Got it.
I am continuing to retain my preferred pronouns of he and him. And I am married to my beautiful wife, Brandy. She's running for the Muncie City Council in tomorrow's election. And it makes me a lesbian because I'm completely in love with her, even though I identify as a woman. We have 6 children together. So I think it more than qualifies.
Okay. So, what happens if you kiss a guy?
Well, you know what? My friends have told me that, if you kiss a guy, the only thing that matters with that is if you giggle or not. So I can't explain if that's true. That's not something that I've ever experienced, but I'll give anyone else an opportunity to experience that for themselves.
All right. Well, I just want to tell you how honored I am because you are the first lesbian Indian that's ever been on Jesse Waters Primetime. So in a way, we're shattering together. Thank you very much and good luck on your race.
I appreciate the time and I appreciate you reaching out and allowing us to clarify and pave the way for anyone else who wants to identify as anything that they choose. So thank you.
You're a trailblazer.
Well, there you have it. We will be right back with Ross Justice. Somebody was a victim, the woke agenda. This is Randy Osborne. We'll be right back. Worldview Truth. This is Randy Osborne. I want to introduce to you a new podcast called Worldview Truth. Worldview Truth discusses conservative issues and battles that are important to you that you will not hear on mainstream media. Please follow, like, and share Worldview Truth with Randy Osborne. Thank you, and God bless. Worldview Truth. Anheuser-Busch has been getting extreme pushback from the marketing campaign with Dylan Mulvaney. This is the trans dude. In-store sales have plummeted 26% by the end of April. We have on the phone Ross Justice. And Ross, I want you just to go ahead and give us the details of your story. And this is in reference to the Bud Light campaign that's been going on here for the past few weeks. So can you go ahead and just give us your story on what's happened and who you work for and the details of that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, thanks for having me. I worked for Tri-Eagle Sales between December of this last year and this past Tuesday. I worked for them for 6 months, delivering different Anheuser-Busch products and other products on top of Anheuser-Busch to the Marion County and surrounding counties. I went to this company thinking, I can't pick more of an American, patriot-ran company, than Anheuser-Busch. I mean, everybody's seen it in their ads before this whole incident happened. All the employees, they always looked happy. So I started working for this company, and then Anheuser-Busch decides to throw a curveball at us, and they make a transgender a man a sponsor, a spokesperson in their company, and us as employees, it didn't matter, that this happened. We were the ones that were getting getting the reaction with the customers. We're the ones delivering to the store. And so ever since that happened, it was night and day between the customers and us. And we were getting so much, all the drivers, they've all, got some kind of insults, or, they've been spat at, yelled at, you name it, it's happened. And it's all because we're the messengers right now for Bud Light, the way I see it. After talking with a bunch of the guys at work, I reached out to One American News, to a reporter that I had previously done an interview with, and they got me in contact with Caitlin Sinclair, and Caitlin and me did an interview where I exchanged some information that I got, day-to-day information that I get at work about the cases and everything that have dropped off on sales. We received an email from the company. The higher ups, they never came and talked to any of us about this spokesperson. The only thing we heard from the company was, oh, here's an email. Anheuser-Busch met up with us, and we've basically been strong-armed into saying we have Bud Light's back, and we're going to give you a free case of beer.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Another question is, so the pushback that you were getting as an employee, you were getting this from customers. I mean, customers were upset. I mean, did the sales go down? What was going on there?
Oh, the sales went down tremendously. The first couple of days, it took a few days for it to really catch traction. A lot of the drivers didn't even know. They're not all on the hype topics and everything of what's going on. What's on social media. So they were finding out, we start our week on Tuesday. I believe that happened on like a Friday or Saturday. And so they were coming back to work, and they were being met at the truck by customers that were mad. This is like bar owners, store owners, wondering, are you bringing this can into my store? Wow. And that's how a lot of us found out. Now, I already knew about it because I keep up with politics. And a lot of the guys, they've been there for 10, 15 years. They wanted to quit. This went against everything, everything inside them, their morals, what they've been raised on. And now they're being forced to push it out. But a lot of these guys have hundreds of hours of PTO that the company won't pay out if you quit. So they're using that against them to keep these guys there, even though they don't want any part of it. Right.
So what did your company do? What did they actually do? Because you came out with this obviously and said, "Hey, I have a problem with this." So what did they do in response?
They said they have Bud Light's back. They have Bud Light's back through all this. They sent out email out with all the higher ups between Ocala, Gainesville, and Tallahassee in a picture holding a Bud Light up, saying, we raise a glass to Bud Light. And to summarize the email, you do too. Not, do you guys support this? What are you guys going through? No, here's your view. We've already said it for you. Here you go. Wow. So the company decided to terminate you? Is that what happened? Yeah, the interview came out on Monday. I called in sick on Tuesday because I got a sinus infection I'm trying to get over. And I received a phone call at 3:30 from HR saying you shared company documents. I didn't know, those documents weren't for, they're given to you every single morning. An email's given to you through an email. It's your email. We get these documents every morning of the case readout, what's on what route, who's on what route, which relief drivers are helping out. So they're saying I gave company documents out, and that violates company policy. I'm still waiting for them to provide the proof that I broke company policy. I asked for them to highlight it in the policy and send it to me. I still haven't received that. And this has really been based off of, if they would have put the full interview out, I did say that I'm speaking out because I'm a Christian, and Bud Light's support for a transgender in the trans community 4 days after the Nashville shooting is why I'm speaking out. Because I believe that all the companies that are coming out and supporting these different transgenders and sponsoring them and giving them all this money, they're promoting the community. 4 or 5 days after kids and women were killed in a Christian school in Nashville,
right?
They're promoting this.
So, as a Christian, you said, "I've had enough. I mean, I'm going to come out and publicly take a stand against this." And this was right after this school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken, where a transgender actually went on in and shot the school up, killing 6 people, 3 adults and 2 children. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, exactly. Days after that, and everybody's throwing money towards the community, and it just, I just don't understand it. Why promote it to get, unless you're trying to get more people to do the same thing.
Right. Ross, this is becoming a problem with companies across the U.S. I mean, major companies, small companies. What do you think the big picture is here? What is going on? What is your take on what's going on?
Well, I do a little bit of research, so I might know a little bit more what's going on outside of the country, and I do follow politics a lot. So I've been watching over the past couple of years. The European Union enforced the ESG scores over in Europe, and what's happening now in the United States is a mirror image of what they did over there just in the past couple of years. And it seems like it's I don't know, they have it on fast forward right now because Biden just a couple months ago vetoed the bill making ESGs, the bill that was trying to make ESGs illegal in the United States. He vetoed it so we can have those here. And all of a sudden you have all these companies jumping on the diversity train and bringing in different influencers, from the trans community or different woke ideologies. And I believe that's what all this is about ushering in the ESG through major corporations in the United States. We've seen it with Disney. Now we're seeing it with Anheuser-Busch, Nike, probably, a number of other companies. But this is all about ushering in the social credit score, in my opinion.
Social credit score. And to maintain or have a good social credit score, it would be promoting this LGBT fill in the blank agenda is one of the ways to increase your social credit score.
Yes, exactly. There's a pie chart you can find online that breaks down the ESG score into different pieces, and diversity is a really big one. You have to have a good ESG score. Right now we have our credit score that you can get. You pay your bills, you get a loan. But now they're going to bring in this ESG social credit score that, okay, they're going to look at your regular credit, and then they're going to have to look at your ESG score and see if you're woke enough to get approved for, whatever, a loan or whatever that you're trying to get approved for that you're using your credit score.
Wow. Well, what's going to happen, or what has to happen, let me rephrase that, is these companies have got to pay the price. If they're more concerned about ESG than their sales, they need to wake up over that. And what we need to do as conservatives, we need to take a stand against this. These woke companies, we have no business doing business with them. And I'm getting out there on this because I think that's the only way that we're going to stop some of this is conservatives across our country is say, stop. We've had enough of this. We are not participating here in the United States. We don't want any part of that. There's other companies like that. You have Starbucks that is openly pushing these transgender activities within their organization. People's had enough of that, and I can see you as an employee has had enough of that, and I really appreciate the stand that you've taken on that.
No, thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, I just couldn't sit by and watch it happen. You know, we're all so busy trying to live our lives. We shouldn't have to keep track of what's going on in politics in the world 24/7. And if you know the information, you know what you're seeing is wrong, you have the duty to stand up.
That's right.
You have the duty to make everyone aware of what's going on and make, bring a stop to it. You know, just like Disney. You know,
That's right.
we've gone after Disney for their woke ideology, and it shouldn't be any different for any other company, especially in the state of Florida. But we can set an example for the rest of the country, especially with a company like Anheuser-Busch, who has a distribution center, multiple distribution centers in every single state. They have breweries across the country. And this is something you don't have to travel far if you wanted to make a stand and maybe have a protest at one of these companies.
Ross, again, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing this information with us. If there's anything that we can do, we will help you.
No, I appreciate everything, and again, thank you for having me on here, and keep doing what you're doing. We need more people like you.
Thank you. God bless you. What is ESG? Well, ESG is an environmental, social, and governance score that is directly tied to financial credit. This liberal scoring system is going to affect every single citizen, every single company, if we as Americans don't get control of this. And our current Biden administration has no intent to stop this. In fact, he is promoting it. ESG, or environmental social governance, is a classification system that companies are using to push a very, very radical agenda. A video that's just released by Heritage Foundation explains this woke credit score system. Let's listen.
Hey, I'm Brian. My pronouns are he, his, him. I understand you're looking for a small business loan, but you're having troubles with your ESG score.
I was denied.
What's your business?
I operate drilling equipment, oil and gas.
Uh-huh. The E in ESG is for environmental. You're in a dirty industry.
So I can't get no loan?
Well, let's take a look at your company's social policies. Tell me about your plan to create social justice.
Social justice.
Do your employees get paid time off for abortions? And tell me about your diversity, equity, and inclusion plan.
Well, I ain't got none of that. I'm a driller. I just hire good people to do the work.
Well, maybe there's one more thing we can check. Do you have any female co-owners?
No, just me.
Ooh, have you ever identified as a woman? Or even just non-binary? It could really help your score.
What?
Your loan is denied. Come back when you fix your ESG score.
Unfortunately, it's not as funny as it seems, because that is becoming reality. With it's actually has been put in place in Europe, and it's coming to the United States very, very quickly. And it seems like U.S. companies are getting on board on this very, very soon, including some of the ones that we've noted today. The good news is Republican-leaning states are using the legislative process this past year to push back on some of these woke ESG agendas. This is a clear method that organizations such as United Nations can control countries by using this type of agendas. For example, Israeli BLM movement that is against the nation of Israel could be put into this ESG agenda. In fact, it's already in this agenda. The housing industry could be controlled like this. Real estate can be controlled by this. School systems are being controlled by this philosophy. The automobile industry is being controlled by this type of agenda. And I see a twofold solution. Solution number one is we must get our legislature to look very seriously at these issues at a state, local, and a federal level to try to stop these initiatives that's coming across the ocean here into the United States. We must elect people that are very aware of what's going on and do everything possible to stop it at a legislative position. And then secondly, we as consumers, as American consumers, must look at these companies and make a decision not to do business with them. You cannot have an ESG agenda if you as a consumer choose not to do business with these organizations. And that is going to bring these organizations to their knees, where they will stop these woke ideologies and continue to destroy the very foundation of our nation. If you go woke, you go broke. That should be the philosophy of Americans. And we need to stop doing business with these companies that have these agendas. They're coming after our kids, they're coming after our families, and they're coming after our nation. This is Randy Osborne. Until next time, God bless. Worldview Truth